It's just lead.
It's your boy D.
I'm sorry. We're tuning in a homeroom with Smooth. Class is now in session.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Okay, I got with me my guy, RJ Zimmerman of Untappedkeg. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just I'm excited because I know you like to downplay it, but that intro that's sweet. It gets your blood going. Like, that is nice. I like it. I really, really like it.
Oh man, thanks, man. Wow, man. That's crazy. Yeah, because my co-host, we were talking last podcast. We were like, yo, it's time for a new one, man. We were like, yeah, that was because it's for us, it's like a year and a half old.
Yeah.
But for like you, it's like, oh man, like, and it's so that disparity is, but it's a good thing though.
I think it's definitely one to keep in your back pocket to go back to when you want that classic feel. But I totally get it's been a while, let's freshen things up a little bit kind of a vibe. So
yeah. So y'all, not to do this without saying it, this is episode 223. Okay, 223 of the Homeroom with Smooth podcast. It is called Almost Liquor. Okay, Almost Liquor. And we're gonna get into why I'm titling it Almost Liquor. All right. So I had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman when I was in Richmond, Virginia. When was that?
April 29th.
Oh man, see, you're
I mean, I can't forget that day. I had so much going on. It was an unbelievable day. So
yeah, man. You know what's crazy? After I met you that time, I went back to the room and was in bed for the next like day or so because I was sick.
Really?
Yeah, I was legitimately sick. Like, but I had like congestion and all that.
Oh, that pollen, like it doesn't play. It does not play in this area. It is like you wash your car and 10 minutes after you leave the car wash, your car's yellow.
Yeah, and that's what somebody was trying to explain to me. They were like, "No, our pollen is really bad."
Yeah.
They're like, "You're from California. Yeah, you don't even experience wildlife." Yeah, man. So, okay, so tell me, how did you get started with the Untapped Keg?
So it started as a podcast
Okay.
with my brother-in-law, and I have been sober for 9.5 years. About 3 years ago, I've been trying to start a podcast with him for a while about different things, and we decided to start one and just let people know that they're not alone when it comes to not drinking, kind of the problems that you face in life and some challenges, and just coming on the journey with us to be better. And really what that wrapped around into is mental health and sobriety combined. So yeah, it's been a ride. Like it has been a ride.
Okay. So with that, so when did you realize like you wanted to because I know then y'all started you launched from there, you launched like your own beverages. Like how was that transition? Like when did you decide like, okay, we've been talking about it, let's try and provide a solution to the problem that we've been talking about?
So that was my brainchild, and it's actually so it's not a line of beverages, it's actually going to restaurants and providing a template with some beverages behind it of non-alcoholic drinks. So, how I met you was I went to a local restaurant back in December. I said, "Hey, I have an idea to kind of like freshen up the vibe and really include some people that have been socially isolated for a really long time, and that is non-alcoholic drinks. And how can we provide a menu and a safe space for people to come where they know that they're going to get great tasting drinks, a deal, and they can just feel like a part of the conversation?" Because when you go to a nice restaurant and you're having a good dinner, or let's say you're out with friends and you're at the bar and you order a soda, as soon as you order the soda, doesn't matter how long you've been sober, you still feel different. You feel
Yeah, yeah.
separated from everybody else, right?
Hmm.
But if you order a beer that's NA, but it tastes amazing, you still feel like you're a part of everything that's going on. And so that's really what I brought to them. And then together we made a really great, we call it alternative cocktail menu, because if you're calling it a mocktail, you're kind of downplaying just how good things are. And they
Yeah.
make some really great, um, they're spiritless liquors. So like a gin that's non-alcoholic, rum, um, whiskey, and tequila. They have all those different ones, and there's a lot of different drinks that are out there now that are really great tasting that people just don't even know are available.
Yeah, man. And that's so funny that you say that, because they like I kind of want to see the videos of me talking about it, because like, so I tried the beverage that you, the first one that you gave me outside, and I'm drinking it, and I'm like, so like, and then I'm like, so what is this? And the guy's like, yeah, like the guy next to me was like asking all the questions I was thinking. And as I'm
Hmm.
drinking more, you tell him, like, no, there's no alcohol in it. He's like, what? And I'm almost like spit out my drink. I'm like, seriously? Nothing?
Yeah.
And I had a beer, I believe. I had a beer outside. I had a beer.
Yep. Yep. So that was it's Uncool is the brand, which I
Okay.
really at first I was like, really, we're gonna call like non-alcoholic stuff uncool, but really they're like taking it back and are like facetious with it and sarcastic, and that's me. So like I love
Yeah.
it. And it's my favorite NA beer I've had. And it was an IPA is what you had. And
Yeah.
it's a very kind of it's not as hoppy and it's got that citrusy flavor and it's
Hmm.
really easy to drink. Like even people who didn't like beer, they tend to like the taste of that one.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a very solid beverage. And then I went inside, and then I tried the other beverages, and then that's when I kind of just like went down the line. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this one, this one, this one. So like I distinctly remember the old fashioned. So the
Yeah.
old fashioned, I drunk it. I'm like, really? I'm like, you guys are so. I'm like, I said, this is so close. It's frightening. Like the old fashioned was that close. I was like, I'm like, if I forget what I actually told her, but I'm like, if y'all can add just a little bit of that, I'm telling you, most people would not know.
Yep.
The only time they would notice is when they didn't get in the intoxicated part that they
Right.
were looking for.
Yeah, and that's what so we actually brought in like 5 or 6 different kinds of spiritless liquor to try it. And then we're like, okay, what kind of recipes do we want to do? And that's what so what you saw was like the launch of the happy hour that that restaurant is running on every single Tuesday night. And if it's popular enough, it's gonna move to Thursday nights. And
Mm,
that is like showing people that the choice that they didn't know they had, where you can go out and still have the ritual and the tradition of having a beer, having an old fashioned, having a mixed drink, but there's no alcohol. So now you can go drive. Now you can still have really great conversations and still feel involved with everything that's going on.
yeah, yeah, and it was like if when I tell you seasoned drinkers, okay, that it is that spot on. It's literally that spot on. The only thing that you like, if you order one and you're normally getting it smoked, it's not a smoked one. It's just a regular old fashioned. That's the one
Yep.
that is close to. It's a regular old fashioned. Like if you're looking for smoked, or oh, I get this at, look, it's not that one, but it's old regular traditional old fashioned. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Then I think I tried the tequila after that. The tequila, or was it a margarita?
It was probably was it oh goodness gracious. There was no margarita, but it was mimosa.
That's what it was. Mimosa.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I knew
And
it was
the
an M.
mimosa is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's 3 different gin drinks. So there's like a gin mule, um,
Hmm.
a passion fruit, kind of like a punch, and then um, a bramble, like a blackberry bramble, which was gin. And I think the
Okay.
gin drinks are incredible as well. And I was not a gin drinker. So,
Hmm.
you know, as someone who's 9.5 years sober, after I drink all of
Mhm.
these drinks, I have to check the bottle to make sure that this is non-alcoholic, because I'm like, this
Right.
tastes pretty dang close. So, but yeah, that gin is just, it's unbelievably good. And it's actually made in Oregon, so not too far from
Wow.
you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Then? So what? It's like. So are you just? What are your bigger aspirations and goals with this?
Yeah. So
With this
what
movement?
what I'm trying to do is go to restaurants and just create a menu that isn't just like, oh, here's 3 NA drinks that are in the bottom corner of the menu that taste like crap and they're just juice that are mixed together, right? I'm trying to show that you can provide options for people, and that by showing people that these are options, they're going to take that choice. And then
Mm-hmm.
that also allows people who are sober, who are looking to become sober, or, they're just alcohol free, they just don't want to drink. They have spaces that they can go, and they know that they can get a good tasting drink and good food and still feeling like they're a part of society. It removes that fear, that stigma that as soon as you give up alcohol, you're not going to be able to have as much fun, go out with your friends and do all of that stuff. Like, you're just being able to create this and make it easier for restaurants to carry it, and then showing them like what to look for when they're creating their menu so that people will like it. Like, I just want to create that in the community so that when people see like Untapped Keg is attached to, and when we're calling it an alternative happy hour instead of a sober happy hour or non-alcoholic, just so people understand that you don't have to be sober. You don't have to be alcohol free. You can just enjoy these beverages,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be there for you on the way too. So they'll know that there's some quality behind the drinks as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, and they're high up there on the quality scale, high up there on the quality scale. Not
I appreciate that.
there were no bad drinks. I tried 4 or 5 of them. There were no bad drinks. There were no bad drinks the entire time I was there. None of them were bad. I'm on record. The girl, she has the video. I'm on record saying it. So so you
I
can
gotta
run the
see
clip
those
and
videos still, because they haven't sent them to me yet. So
oh yeah,
and they're gonna post those on Instagram pretty soon. I know they were sending it over to their social media person. So
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just tag me when you find it. Tag me in it. I will help you guys promote that stuff because it was really
I
good.
I appreciate it. I've talked with people in Iowa that are taking like the template that I helped create and bringing that to the restaurant in Virginia, and they're going to
Mhm.
take it to restaurants in Iowa to try to implement that there. And the movement for non-alcoholic drinks is, it's skyrocketing. And you have a beer company like Athletic Brewing that is a top 10 beer producer and like a top 10 seller of beer, and all they produce is NA beer. That's it. And it
Wow.
it tastes really good. But in my opinion, like the Uncool IPA is still the best NA beer that I've had. But there's
Mhm.
some really, really great ones. Even out in California, there's some really great microbrewed NA beer.
Wow. That's wow. Wow. Okay. So then to pivot back to your podcast. So okay. So when you first of all, when you guys drop episodes?
Um, Mondays at midnight. So like Monday morning when you wake up, it'll be in your feed.
Okay, Monday morning when you wake up. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. And then that's Eastern time.
Yes, that is Eastern time. So it'd
That's
really be
Eastern.
Sunday, at what, 9 o'clock for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So right
Okay.
before you go to bed, it's gonna be there.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me make sure. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure I tap into those. I'll make sure I tap into those. And then so you do it with your brother? Do you do it with anyone else?
So my brother-in-law and I did it for the first 2 years. For a little bit over a year, it's just been me, and then I'll have guests on, or I'll also do some solo episodes. for the most part, though, I have guests on that really what we do is we spotlight different perspectives into sobriety and mental health. And with sobriety, there's a lot of different terminology that you can use. So if you alcohol free, just don't drink, just if you're sober, however you want to say it, okay, like we have something for you. And
Mm,
then we tie it into mental health because one thing that we noticed was addiction is looked at as the cause for a lot of mental health. But when you really look into it, it's a symptom of mental health. So the two are so tied together that you can't really talk about one without talking about the other. If you're going to do a solid job and not just be someone who's like, trying to shock jock kind of your way through it. So spotlighting these different perspectives that people can take, maybe one or two things from an episode and put in their own life. And um, really, I'm not talking about like the stories leading up to sobriety or things like that. It's
mhm,
the stories after. How did you take your life and elevate it to one that you enjoy living right now?
mm, mm. So what would you recommend people do, like as a starting step for towards sobriety?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is just think about your relationship with alcohol. What's the reason that you drink? Like, what do you get from it? Do you do it socially with friends just because what else is there to do? Do you do it for the flavor? Is it something that you feel you need in order to hang out and talk with friends and really get loose and have fun? And
Hmm.
then what's your next days like? What do you are you able to stop yourself like after one drink? Is it something that you wake up the next day and you're
Mm,
kind of looking back like I can't believe I drank that much again? Is there some guilt and some shame behind that? And kind of evaluating if you actually enjoy drinking or if it's just something you do. And when you start from there, you can have the perspective of, okay, I need to change something here, whether that's maybe drinking only with certain friends and not with others. And
mm,
maybe it's only having one drink with dinner and then you're done. And if you decide that you're going to do that and you don't follow through with it, what are the reasons that you're not following through? And maybe we need to do
yeah,
something a little bit more. I should probably cut this out and maybe I could look into some of these great tasting non-alcoholic drinks that I know about now.
yeah. You could because they taste great. You won't know the difference over dinner.
That's the thing. Like when you have dinner and it's not a water, an iced tea, or a soda. It's actually something that tastes really good. Like it elevates everything about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, most definitely. So then, I would say, so the next thing I would ask you, what are the steps towards better mental health? Would you recommend, like, for people, like
Yeah,
walking down that mental avenue? Because some people, they have the desire, but their mental isn't quite there.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's something where you can look into maybe getting an alcohol-free coach. You can really, if you Google like alcohol-free steps, there's so many different avenues and books that you can read to help you on that starting journey. But if you're really looking into your mental health, right, and your starting point, I think it's in a similar position where what you want to do is you want to look at, okay, am I down right now? Am I in a rut? Do I know something needs to change, but I'm just not quite sure what that is? Okay, what is it right now that I am feeling where I wake up and I'm just having issues kind of getting past a certain point, or I'm having
Mm,
problems getting that start, right? What is the
yeah.
hang up there? Am I worried about something going wrong? Am I thinking about something that I did in the past that I can't stop the cycle of my mind going to? Is it something that like a fear? Am I scared of something happening in the world in the future and something coming up? And when you do that, you can kind of start to identify the area where you could really focus and
Yeah.
do some, again, YouTube, TikTok. these are actually really great sources of looking up, I'm feeling this way. And there's great therapists that are on there that are giving some tips. There's great content creators. Like I share my journey from a perspective of a blue collar Midwestern guy who's, reevaluating his entire worldview, his entire life, and
Hmm.
completely changing it. And I'm using vocabulary that most people will get behind, like fuck, shit, damn, ass. Like I use all of that because that's the way we talk.
Right,
That's so,
right. That
and
is true.
like, I'm not here to be like, oh, everything's okay. Just be positive. That's not real. Anybody who
Yeah,
is worth their salt in the mental health space will tell you that's not how it works. And it would never be able to be that way in a healthy way. That's still
yeah,
unhealthy. And so really trying to identify, like, where the starting point is. And once you get to that starting point, then you can kind of start to figure out, do I need to read books, listen to books? Is it podcasts I can look into? Is there, TikToks, social media? The sky's the limit for finding somebody who resonates with you.
yeah, yeah. That's man. That's true. That's true. That's true, man. Because there's so many. Because even when I think about, like, for me, when I think about like podcasting, like like just getting on that journey, like I to get there, to get like the mental aspect of it, to get the disciplines and stuff, I had to go look at other people and watch what they were doing and go listen to them, and like, how do you create content? How do you do these videos? When do you drop these videos? When do you know when it's time to like shift your formatting? Like how, like all that stuff. And I just literally just sit down and I just went down this rabbit hole. And YouTube and other places, they have a really good algorithm. If you watch two or more of those videos, they're just going to send you down the rabbit hole, and it's up to you to come out.
Yeah, and especially at the start, like don't be afraid to try other creators too. Like and Twitch. So if you enjoy watching videos live on Twitch, YouTube's similar, but Twitch has a really great mental health streaming community. Like one person I cannot recommend enough is from the UK, Mindset by Dave. He's
Hmm.
on Twitch 3 times a week. Just an unbelievably charismatic person who explains mental health in a way that is really attainable, like has great metaphors. He's been on the show a couple times, but like I saw one of his tweets that was a video that he edited about being lost in the dark forest and being down, and I was like, I feel like you were in my head when you wrote that script, and this video is incredibly well edited. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I know who you are." Like, I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you want to come on?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, okay." And now we're good friends, but like the way that he explains things in such a way. So here's a quick example. My favorite example from him. Everybody talks about trying to find balance in life, trying to
Okay.
find how things are balanced in a way that works, but a lot of times we talk 50-50.
Hmm.
He explained it. What we're really seeking is not balance. We're seeking harmony, because the
Mm.
50-50 and the balance, it's not attainable if you think about it. What you really want is how you can be okay and fulfilled as yourself
Yeah.
with both working together. So you're going to have one that's stronger than the other and it's going to fluctuate, but finding that harmony, realizing when it's out of harmony and trying to find where the new harmony is.
Yeah.
That's where you really find the joy in life. And that difference there, that difference in
Wow.
vocabulary, that like, yeah, it's like it was mind blowing. And I bring it up and he's starting to use it again because he actually forgot that he brought it up. And so like I'm so happy when he says it. But yeah, he's just incredible at it. So Twitch, honestly, everywhere you can find a content creator that you will resonate with, and it will help you so much on your journey.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So, man, y'all make sure y'all go check into some resources. Like for and find your community. Okay, that's the first thing, like that I could recommend to help you out. If you find a community, you
Yes.
find your group of people that you can be around, and it's not even about holding each other accountable. it's just you're going to naturally want to stay in that circle. So you're going to hold yourself accountable to be someone that they would want to be around. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like internal peer pressure.
Yeah, that is a good way to put it. And
Yeah.
it's that support too, right? So like
Yeah.
you understand that you can go and you don't have to be your best, and people are just going to love it that you're there, and
Yeah.
they're going to support you because you're you. And the first time that you feel that, it's going to feel so foreign, you're going to freak out a little bit, and then you'll start to realize, "Oh, this is what I've been missing for a lot of my life." And then you can like borrow some of their courage if you're scared or nervous about something. You can borrow some of their um some of their insights and some of their wisdom if it's necessary. Like
Hmm.
you are absolutely right about the community aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I did want to ask you about is like how is just podcasting in general for you? Like the landscape, like just doing podcasts in general, because it's not often I get to talk to another podcaster.
It's it has its ups and downs, right? It gets into its ruts, like
Yeah.
it gets like, oh, I have to do the editing again. Oh, I gotta like write a description of this episode again. Like those are the things where I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And like with my ADHD, it's like if I really don't want to do it, it takes a lot for me. Like I gotta have a whole box of cookies. You can have this. If you write that description, you better write that description. Um, but it's yeah, like overall, like this part, the talking to somebody, meeting them, really sharing life stories, like I love it. I can't get enough of it. It has changed my life. But every once in a while, there's something with it where it's like, I don't want to do this part.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so with some of the stuff, after we're done, stick like we'll run the outro, stick around. I'm gonna share some tools with you. I'm not sharing it all with them, but I'll share the tools with you
I
because like
appreciate that.
I have like a ridiculous amount of tools that I use, and I'm just like, yo, I wonder if people know about these. Like, but I'm gonna share them with you. But to be on topic podcasting for me, like it's literally been I would say first of all, it's like the difference maker in my life because beforehand, I only had one real hobby, and I was playing video games. That was my only real hobby. But other than that, that doesn't involve me really engaging with people. It doesn't involve me engaging with community. Like I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't even have to be a likable person. Like all I have to be is good. All I have to be is good. Like if you're good, people will want to play with you over and over
Yeah.
again. Like, oh yeah, I love playing with you. You're fun and you know what you're doing. You know how to do you know how to do this level? Yes. Hey, come on. Here's the invite. Like, but I never had to it didn't help my actual like interpersonal skills as far as like because people find this really hard to believe, and I keep having to tell them this. I'm naturally introverted and shy. Like that's what I naturally am. But I'm also
High
very
five, because me too.
yeah, 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 yeah. But but I'm but that is also like I equally have a deep interest in people and what they are thinking. So they don't those two things don't go hand in hand. Like the guy was saying, like you need harmony. So my
Mhm.
harmony is podcasting because it allowed me to and content creating in general. It allowed me to get outside of myself and actually talk to people in a format that I didn't feel like was too much or was threatening to me or anything like that. And I'm able to like interview new people and meet people from here, there, and everywhere. Like you know what I'm saying? There's a guy I interviewed. He was from Sweden. I'm like how I don't even know you. Like I've never even been to Sweden. Like I just interviewed a girl from Colombia. I don't. I was like, how do I like? But it's one of those things where by getting outside of myself and actually getting into I want to say like my purpose or like a lane that I'm supposed to be in,
Mhm.
I'm naturally being surrounded by and meeting more people that I should meet. People that are naturally like I'm in their orbit and I'm in their orbit and they're in my orbit. Like we're close, we're in the same solar system. A lot of times people, you're hanging out with people and you're wondering why things are so rough or y'all get really distant, is because they're in another solar system. And the time y'all met, y'all's planets were really close. And then you're rotated and it's like, oh my God, how did I get all the way over here? You're all the way over there. Why is there's this vast difference? Because y'all were never supposed to be. It was just a coincidence.
I love how you explain that, because it's very similar for me, where I've met so many people that have opened my mind in ways that I was not open to before podcasting. It really is the same for me, where it's my life before the podcast, my life after the podcast. And I mean, it's vastly different.
Yeah.
And how I am as a dad is vastly different because of the podcast. Like, meeting people, learning about their life, learning from them,
Mm-hmm.
and finding these tools, like we were talking about earlier, but like that you
Mm-hmm.
can use in your life that they don't seem like they would relate, but they do.
Yeah.
And as you start to see this in your life, starts to evolve into something that, like you said, with your purpose and your passion, like when that
Mm-hmm.
aligns, it really is like it is the highest high that you
Mm-hmm.
can feel in this life. I am sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally live for getting off of work. Like I live to get off of work. Like that is like, oh my God, I'm gonna get off work. Great. I'm gonna go record a podcast. I'm gonna go record content. It's great. Like that's what I live for. Like that's what gets me out of bed. That's what makes me want to go do more is this. Like if I didn't have this, I would not be like what who I am today. Like I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. And so I fully agree with you.
Yeah, and it's amazing how a little podcast was the catalyst to getting you there, and I'm grateful it did, because this is awesome, and I really appreciate it. So,
Oh man, hey, hey, no, thank you, man. Thank you for the beverage. Honestly, because I was honestly kind of thirsty.
it was a hot day. It was like it could not have worked out better for weather-wise, for everything that happened that day. It
Yeah,
was just like I was so worried about the day, and it ended up being better than I could have ever imagined it being. So,
yeah. Yeah. That day was unusually perfect because the next day was rainy and the
yep,
day before was rainy. Like it was that
yep.
one day was
And
pristine.
even the morning, it was cloudy, and it was kind of like, oh, is it going to get warm today? And it warmed up for that like 6-7 hour period there. And that
Hmm.
sun came out shining. It was absolutely glorious.
Yep. One of the one of the yeah. I enjoyed Richmond like as a city. And I've traveled a few places, but like I like the layout of it. I kind of like because it has it's an older city feel, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And everything is kind of situated in a way where it's nicely walkable. Like people be like, "Oh, you could go walk over here in LA." Like, no, you really can't. Like LA's not walkable. Like this Richmond is walkable. Like
Yeah.
downtown Richmond, it's set up. There's enough spacing. There's enough. Like everything is good.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, so I grew up in Wisconsin. I just moved about 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, and so like it was like that's how I feel too. It's been a really great change of pace for me. So
Yeah, man. So is there anything you want to leave people with?
yeah, it's that I think it's exploring different options that we might kind of like put our eyebrows up at. Like, why would I want to try that? It'll turn out to be something that will lead you down a rabbit hole and make you realize that, oh, I have more choices in this life than what I really thought. And you might look at something that you do because you're good at it, and it's not because you enjoy, or you just do it because you've always done it. And it's not something you enjoy.
Hmm.
So just be open minded even mental health, so many other avenues. Just be open-minded to being wrong about something and see where that'll take you. Because the worst thing that happens, you go back to doing how you did it anyway.
Right. I mean, no, you got a good point. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So look, y'all, if y'all want to see more of RJ Zimmerman, y'all want to go see more of RJ, you want to see more Untappedkeg, okay, on the title of the video, the Untappedkeg is blue, okay? It's blue on this video. Click on it. It will take you to his channel. All right? I cannot stress that enough. It will take you straight to his channel. There's no gimmicks here. It's not going to take you to some weird place. It'll take you straight to his channel. If you want to see more of him, make sure you guys go tap in with him. Go subscribe. Again, I want to thank you for coming on my podcast. And
thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Yeah, this was really good, man. I appreciate it. And you guys, this has been episode 223 of the Homeroom with Smooth podcast. We out.